In an upscale district of Amman stood a two-story house, isolated, with no other homes nearby. It was enclosed by an 8-foot-high wall. Although all the exterior lights of the house were switched off, the government streetlights illuminated the northern facade. The silver-painted iron gate shimmered under the glow. Carrying a letter from Ahmed Musa, Shafiq stepped out through the gate at a measured pace. As the car engine started, he instinctively glanced back. From the darkness beside the road, a black Land Rover emerged and began trailing them. To confirm his suspicion, Shafiq instructed the driver to go full speed. The driver protested, saying that on such winding roads, it wasn't safe to drive any faster. Shafiq held up a coded symbol in front of him and said quietly, "It's necessary." Recognizing the emblem of Saimum, a covert resistance network, the driver nodded respectfully and replied, "From now on, consider both the car and me at your service, sir." Keeping his eyes on the rearview mirror, Shafiq asked, "Does everyone feel the same way you do?" The driver gave a bitter smile. "Most feel even more strongly. I'm the unfortunate one. In this critical time for our people, I've done nothing but earn my daily bread." Shafiq placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "Who says you've done nothing? Your support and goodwill give us strength." Then, without taking his eyes off the mirror, he added, "The car behind us is following." The driver glanced back, concern crossing his face. "I know every alley and shortcut in this city. If you say the word, I can lose them within 5 minutes." Shafiq shook his head. "No, turning our backs on the enemy goes against our tradition. A Saimum member doesn't leave an enemy alive behind him. Slow down near that tree ahead. I'll get out. You keep driving and wait for me at Sultan Salahuddin Road." Near the tree, in a patch of darkness, Shafiq leapt from the moving car. He checked behind him. The pursuing vehicle was still some distance away. Calmly, he took out a hand grenade, adjusted its safety pin, and held a revolver in his other hand. The trailing car continued forward, unsuspecting. Hidden behind a rock under the tree, Shafiq waited, holding his breath. As the vehicle drew level, he fired a suppressed shot. A dull thud echoed. One of the rear tires burst loudly, and the car came to a halt after rolling forward a short distance. Shafiq's guess proved correct. Assuming it was just a tire blowout, 2 men stepped out, one short, with a flat nose and yellowish complexion, clearly of East Asian origin, the other tall and fair-skinned. Both wore black coats and trousers. As they examined the tire, they suddenly realized something was wrong. Their hands moved toward their pockets, but too late. Shafiq fired twice. Both bodies collapsed silently. He quickly searched them, finding revolvers, cigarette cases, lighters, and hand grenades, but no documents. Inside the car, he discovered a submachine gun and a small leather attaché case. Thinking it might contain useful information, he took it and left. Before departing, he informed a nearby police officer on duty about the bodies and urged him to take care of the situation. After sending Shafiq away, Ahmad Musa paced restlessly. Something felt wrong. Hassan Tariq was not one to disappear without notice, but it was now midnight. He was supposed to arrive by 11. More troubling was the silence on his wireless. A sudden realization flashed in Musa's eyes, burning with anger and the fire of vengeance. Gradually, his expression softened into a strange stillness. He looked out the window, his mind drifting far beyond the dark horizon, across Tibet, the Hindu Kush, and the Karakoram Mountains, into a peaceful town in eastern Turkestan. He remembered the days of laughter and abundance. Like desert winds, they had roamed freely. They played hide-and-seek among thorny bushes. At night, sitting in his father's worn embrace, he would listen to stories while gazing at the stars. Those stories carried him into another world, a world once engulfed in darkness until a great man appeared in Arabia, bringing light. Despite storms and hatred, that light spread across lands, even reaching Turkestan. Often, his father would leave before finishing a story, called by the melodious voice of his uncle echoing from the mosque. Musa hadn't understood the words, but the sound had filled him with peace. Life might have continued that way, but a storm came. It left behind blood and sorrow. Standing by the window, gripping the bars, Musa's face hardened with pain and resolve. He spoke softly but fiercely. In Central Asia, Xinjiang, the Philippines, Palestine, Ethiopia, Chad, you persecute Muslims everywhere. You will answer for it. You can form alliances like SEATO, CENTO, NATO, or the Warsaw Pact. But when we resist, you call it fanaticism. As he reached to close the window, something caught his eye. A faint flash of light near the wall, like a cat's glowing eyes. Alert! Musa grabbed a night vision binocular. In the darkness, he saw a shadowy figure climbing over the wall using a hooked rope. Dressed entirely in black, the figure moved silently, like a hunting cat. Musa descended quietly and positioned himself near the staircase, hidden behind a switchboard. The intruder entered the veranda. When the figure came within range, Musa flipped the light switch and stepped out, revolver aimed. "My aim rarely misses," he said coldly. "Drop your weapon, and the one in your left hand as well." After a moment's hesitation, the intruder obeyed. Suddenly, Musa noticed another shadow. Reacting instantly, he dove aside. A suppressed shot rang out. The man in front screamed and fell. Musa fired back. The second attacker dropped his weapon, clutching his injured arm. "Lower your hand," Musa commanded, "or the next shot goes through your heart." Moments later, a car arrived outside. A familiar signal was given. Musa responded, and within seconds, Farouk entered. "No mistake," Farouk said. "Just as I suspected." "Analysis later," Musa replied. "Search him first." It was now 1 a.m. Musa and Farouk sat across a table. In front of Musa lay a note. A quite new element. WRF is active, Amman being their current target. 2 pins in a V shape on the trouser band identify them. Musa frowned. "Alongside Mossad and the CIA, who are these WRF now?" Farouk answered. "WRF. I saw the V pins. They interrogated the captured man under the influence of a drug, similar to a truth serum used in espionage settings. My name is Mikhail Yakubov," he said. "I'm Ukrainian, though my parents may have been Turkish. I grew up in a Siberian refugee camp." He revealed that WRF, World Red Forces, was a global communist paramilitary network targeting figures like Musa. Saimum is the #1 enemy of the global communist movement, he admitted. The organization had no fixed headquarters, operating through scattered units, especially in Muslim countries. When asked about Hassan Tariq, he knew nothing. Exhausted, the man began to fade. Musa turned to Farouk. "Take him away, remind him of his ancestors' legacy, and give him one final chance."